All right, Brothaspeak Podcast, where we interview the innovative, the daring, and the bold with topics that speak to the Black LGBT. And I am very excited to actually have two entrepreneurs who happen to be a couple. We're talking to Mr. Charles Hughes and Richard Solomon, the creators of Lambda Vodka. How you guys doing?
Doing all right, Chris. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. Let me tell you. You know, I actually love it. I love your story. I love exactly what you guys have built. I love exactly the fact that you are a couple. So for my audience, for my listeners out there, I want to kind of give them a little background of you and what made you come out with this particular product. So I would kind of speak a little bit that you guys have you met back in 2010. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And you guys pretty much met through a mutual friend, and ever since then, you've pretty much been inseparable. Am I wrong about that?
Well, you are absolutely right.
You both came from different backgrounds in terms of business, didn't you?
Yeah, so basically, we work in business. We both work in insurance managed care. And so this is actually our first business venture, and we decided to do it together. So, I mean, we're pretty novice in it ourselves.
Well, how does that feel coming in it as a couple into a business that is pretty competitive?
Yeah. I mean, as a couple, it definitely is going to test you as far as keeping your emotions out of it. Because I know when I go to work 9 to 5, somebody may rub you the wrong way and you kind of brush it off. But when it's your partner, it's a little deeper. And the argument is a little more aggressive. So we're in our first year, so we're still learning each other on the business level.
Gotcha. You know what? But that's probably the best test you can actually the best test of a couple, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because trust me, it's been a few days we almost want to pack some stuff up.
Man. Okay, so let me just make sure this is correct. Now, when you're talking about your vodka, you named your vodka Lambda Vodka. Can you tell me why?
Well, actually, it's an interesting story. It wasn't our first choice.
Oh.
We actually wanted to go with Rainbow Vodka. Very cliche.
Yeah.
Very cliche. But, we found a different route. So we wanted something that also spoke to the community. So in the 70s, before the rainbow flag actually signified the gay community, it was the Greek lambda symbol that was of the LGBTQ community. So that's where it actually came from.
I never knew that. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so when you decided to go with the name Lambda, and now I'm just kind of curious, was those the only two names you came up with, or you had a series of names?
No, when we initially started, I was so Rainbow Vodka all the way. I wanted dignified community completely. So when we found out we couldn't do it, now it's kind of like, okay, we need to do some research.
Yeah.
And then when we saw the story behind Lambda, it was pretty much hands down.
Gotcha.
And it's a new product, and it also gives a history of our community because we're starting to actually have history within the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
So I thought it would be very good to have some nostalgia along with the name of the product.
First off, I love when the story of the name actually has some sort of a story behind it. So that actually does makes very interesting. Now, who came up with the idea to start a vodka, first off?
So, Chris, okay, so we live together, we work a 9 to 5 together, and then we do business together.
Okay.
So I'm sitting at work one day behind the computer, and I guess I'm Googling, and an advertisement for Ciroc came across my screen.
Okay.
And with Ciroc, it targets the urban African American community predominantly.
Okay.
So I thought to myself, why doesn't the LGBT community have a product that speaks directly to it, that was created from the community? So I started to do a little research, contacted distributors and distilleries, and it was financially within our grasp.
Okay.
It took us about maybe 12 to 14 months to bring it together. We're on the market. Here we are.
Wow. So
I would like to add, this is Richard. I would definitely like to add that I was totally against the idea.
No, can you tell me why? Why?
Yeah, I have to throw that out there. I thought it was a horrible idea. My husband, he tends to reach for the stars. I always say that the kid and he is the balloon. The balloon that any second is going to float away, and pop. So I'm always the skeptic. Gotcha. And so when he came up with the idea, my first thought was, getting into a product that is segmented, that segments to a specific demographic, I thought was a bad idea. I didn't think we would get the support would keep the business thriving.
Okay.
But I was wrong.
Say that one more time.
Now remember this moment now, because you might be wrong later on, okay?
Hey, Chris, could you send me this recording?
Right after, sure will. No, that's okay. I don't be part of that.
No, much to my delight, I was completely wrong. I cannot tell you the amount of support that we have gotten, not even just the LGBTQ community, but from supporters of the LGBTQ community, people that see a product that they can get behind and they want to see it succeed. And that's been the backbone of Lambda Vodka. We're a community-based vodka. We're only existing and we're only thriving because the community is standing behind us. And it's been great.
Wow. This is very interesting. So when it comes to, first off, when you actually went out there to the community, where exactly are you guys located? Where exactly are you located?
So most of our stores are in Harlem, New York.
Gotcha. Okay.
So our first store gave us a chance, and we decided, well, since they allowed us to, sell in their store, why not try to saturate that area? So we are in maybe 11 or 12 liquor stores, and I believe about 5 restaurants.
Nice.
So
okay.
We've been focusing the New York Harlem area now.
Gotcha. So I see, which I want to talk about later, you're going to be going to an event that's going to be a little nice in a nice little Caribbean area. We'll talk about that too. So when it comes down to the marketing, you're starting to focus on more close niche, which to me totally makes sense. Go exactly within your home. But now when exactly are you going to plan on going a little bit further out there? How are people finding out outside of those areas about your vodka?
Well, because we've pretty much been promoting through social media and word of mouth, that's how I think that it's getting out there to different cities and states.
Okay.
We've been in communication with a lot of promoters in Atlanta, and hopefully we could get down there pretty soon. California, we'll be out there at the end of the month, and who knows where the rest of the year will take us. So, word of mouth and social media has definitely started to put us on the map a little bit.
Okay, I like that. Now, when it came down to knowing exactly what each person is going to do in the business. Now, I read where one person does IT, another person does finance, but I'm thinking, wait a minute, there's too many hats.
Yeah.
So who wears what, and who actually decides what, who ends with what? What is it?
So, Chris, this is Charles. I'm the boss.
You know what? I hate to tell you, Charles. Part of me says, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure.
But honestly, I think, I'm more the person behind the scenes as far as get our marketing together. Let's create materials. Let's reach out. So I'm more of a, when you think of Lambda Vodka, people are going to say, oh, I spoke with Charles, where Ricky is more so behind the scenes, where I will communicate to him, this is what we talked about and this is what I need.
Okay, so you're the spokes guy, you're the sales guy, and you're pretty much the one that's pretty much getting the word out there. And then, of course, we got Richard over here, who's more the administrative portion of it, you would say?
Yeah. And Chris, more importantly, I want to stress that Lambda Vodka is simply a subset of an LLC that we actually own. So there is the business aspect of it that Lambda resides under, and that requires some administrative work. So that's primarily what I take care of, so that my husband isn't burdened with that.
Gotcha.
I always like to say he's the creative mind behind it.
Yeah.
It was his idea. It's his brain. It's his, baby. It's his brainchild. I basically work behind the scenes to try and alleviate as much stress as I possibly can, with adding a little more on to myself.
Okay. You know what? And part of me says to come in this together as a couple. One, I love it. Like I said, I love it, but I know somebody doesn't know when to turn it off. And somebody says, we home now. We don't want to talk about it. So who's that person?
I'd be lying if I said there was ever a time we turned it off. This business carries into our personal life.
I can assume.
We actually have to force ourselves to step away from it. I'm at stepping away from it. Charles is Lambda all day long. All day long.
How come I believe you on that one? I definitely believe you on that one.
Lambda all day long. All day
long. They say if you sleep, breathe, and eat it, it'll become successful. So I'm hoping it will, because I've been sleeping, eating, breathing, and
But you know what also was it was very surprising to me that you said we are going to specifically go towards the Black gay community, or just the gay community. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that is definitely a niche. Was there any hesitation in that?
Oh, yeah.
For me, no. For Ricky, yes, because he didn't want to segment it to speak to just that portion of the liquor, the spirits market. But when we say, our slogan is created by our community, but for all communities. We don't want to say just the LGBT community can drink it. We just want people to be aware that we are here.
Okay.
We are business people. We support each other, and we need product services in every avenue of business that speak to us. So why not have this for us?
You're right. Okay. All right.
And Chris, I'd like to make an addition to that point. One thing I've found is, when you look at different liquor brands, you tend to sometimes see that they'll come out with a bottle that is for the gay community, but it's a limited edition. Right. And that's what I feel is best about Lambda Vodka. Lambda Vodka isn't supporting the community on a limited edition basis. Yeah. This is a brand that is always supporting the LGBTQ community. It's not a brand exploiting the gay community when it's beneficial for them. Ooh. We are always in support of our community, not when it best fits a financial need.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, the funny part about it, because I had a little popular club night sometime last year, and that's when you kind of put yourself into meeting all the distributors and all the marketing guys of all the liquors. Okay. Yeah. And they were everyone, and let me tell you, they will push Absolute. Do you guys get that up there? Because Absolute's a pretty big name, and they're really for the gay community. Is that something that you guys also came across?
Yes. I want to say that because people will always say, Absolute has a bottle. But, I hate to speak, I don't want to speak negatively, but I don't see that bottle in Pride. I wouldn't say that they're just trying to target us at one particular area, but we're all year round. And
right.
I don't want to focus on Absolute. I want the focus to be on Lambda Vodka. Now,
being the fact that there's advantages and disadvantages with everything, what have you found to be the advantage, and what have you found to be the biggest challenge for you?
I would say the biggest challenge is we're a startup. and with a lot of startup spirit brands, you have to get your name out there, so you have to give a lot of stuff away for free.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not a bad thing because it makes people aware of who you are. But at the end of the day, it kind of, okay, well, we're depleting our inventory, and we're not making money off of it. And we love to do sponsorships for events that cater to the community or do give back to the community. So I guess we could turn our negative into a positive at the same time.
Right. And what do you find the biggest advantage?
The gays love to drink.
That's for sure. We do.
To be honest, there is no better demographic to cater to. The gay community, we have the largest disposable income,
True.
and we spend most of it on partying and drinking.
That's true. That is very much true. You're right about that.
So if you target the right age group, it's gold.
Gotcha.
It's literally gold. I mean, everyone can relate with our product.
Right.
In our community.
You know what? How do you guys hold each other accountable? I'm curious about that.
So that's a sensitive.
It's a sensitive topic.
So it you almost have to go at each other like, how you would go at a toddler. Like kind of sit them down and say, "Hey, baby, you responded to this email incorrectly." So I mean, like, surprisingly, you think it would be difficult to adjust. It's actually not that difficult because the personal interactions that we have kind of blends into the business.
Okay.
So we interact the same way, and we're so used to, interacting with each other that it's not that difficult in the business aspect of our lives. I mean, we've been together 8 years, so we know exactly how the other person reacts, how they're going to react.
Right.
So I know when I need to, shut the hell up.
Okay.
And he does too. So it kind of works itself out. It's not as hard as you would believe.
Okay. So I'm kind of curious also when it came up the process of making this vodka, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, 6 times distilled. Who comes up with the idea of doing it 6 times distilled?
Now we spoke to a number of distilleries, and they came in contact with Citrus Distillery. And when we purchased the recipe from them, we said we want it to be smooth. So they said, okay, the majority of the vodkas on the market are pretty much 5 times. So we can actually do an additional 6 times distilled. They sent us a few samples, and we were sold. Oh. I mean, you could drink it on ice, and it goes down very smoothly. And so I think with that's what we were sold at. But I do know as far as legality behind everything and TTBs, and we're still learning as we go along, but I mean, it was definitely a lot of times where we messed up, we didn't know that law, so let's go back to the drawing board on this. I mean,
because that's kind of the part of the business that I handle, and when I tell you it can be a headache. Starting a liquor brand, it's not just coming up with the formula. It's not dealing with a multitude of different vendors. You're dealing with the people that make the vodka. You're dealing with the people that bottle the vodka, the people that label the bottle, the people that provide the corking. So it's a number of different entities that you're dealing with. Mind you, they all have their hand out for some money.
Of course.
So it's very complex, and then you have to deal with, as my husband said, the legal side of it, which is a completely different beast. So it's difficult. If they're interested in doing this, just go into it understanding that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be short. This isn't something to get into if you are looking for a quick turnaround time. It's something that you have to be patient with.
Yeah. You know, I'm glad you said that, because sometimes people think it's actually business is a very easy. We just do this, we can just do that.
Not at all.
It's a process. It's a process.
Yeah,
Definitely a process.
And if you guys didn't come in it as a couple, it probably could have been more challenging.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm seeing you guys are traveling. You guys are going to Colorbloc, is it? You're going to do the Colorbloc?
Colorbloc Music Festival.
yeah. The Cana.
In Punta Cana. It's going down, I believe, May 24th through the 28th, that Memorial Day weekend.
Okay. This is your first time promoting the vodka like that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be a new experience for you.
Yeah, but we're really excited. You know, it kind of kills two birds with one stone. We get to work and take a vacation at the same
much
time.
needed vacation.
Yeah.
So the Colorbloc, what's the whole Colorbloc festival about?
So it's the first year. It's a music festival. They have a great lineup of individuals who are going to be performing at the festival. A few days of parties. It's all inclusive. All top shelf alcohol. Of course, Lambda Vodka will be there.
That's right.
And it's just going to be a good time. It's something for our community to get together and just, you know, relax, enjoy some good music, meet new people, and network. And like, should be pretty fun.
I think so too. Sounds like it's going to be a fun event there. I wish I was going.
Chris, it's not too late. Come on.
You know what? Let me just check out the tickets then. Let me tell you, I need one too. I need a vacation. It's been a little bit of a minute for me, but
make sure if you go and check it out, make sure you use our promo code Lambda Vodka. Gets you 10% off.
Yeah, definitely.
Lambda Vodka, 10% off. Okay.
And the website is www.colorblocmusicfestival.com for anybody who's interested, who wants to go. Check out the website. You'll see, you know, the individuals who will be performing, and then I do think they have the events that are going to be going on as well on the website.
Now, just make sure it's BLOC. Is that correct? Was it block?
BLOC. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So this is pretty interesting. And you know what? I also found out a little bit funny, because I think to myself, okay, I'm pretty sure they had a nice wedding, but you guys only invited 2 people. That was it? Am I wrong? Only 2 people?
You know, one thing I've definitely learned, we are not conventional people. We're a little different. And most people, they get together in a couple of months, they get married, and they want to have this huge wedding. I mean, we've been together for a very long time. So right now, at this juncture of our relationship, you know, marriage is basically paperwork. I mean, I love my husband to death, but it's practically paperwork. I mean, we've done everything. We have a home together. We have a business together. So right now, we solidified that legally through marriage. We're also a little private. So we didn't want to have some huge event with a whole bunch of people there. We only wanted our mothers there.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow.
I'm sorry. And my godfather. He will kill me if I don't say that he was also present. So my godfather did also attend. But it was a very small event. We went right to City Hall, you know, got it done there. And I'm not ashamed to say we invited a bunch of our friends out after to a little restaurant, and we just got drunk.
I was going to say that reception had to be banging. Okay.
and it wasn't. It was it was a regular restaurant. It wasn't anything, 5-star or anything. We just, we enjoy our friends and family. We don't have to spend a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, and more importantly, we're always financially conscious. So our first thought is we're trying to start a business. The last thing we want to do is spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Not to mention that around this time was when we actually just purchased our first case returned from our wedding.
Oh, wow. The first case was, wow, that's a pretty good celebration to see the vodka there when you come in from your wedding.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
We started 2 chapters of our life on the exact same day.
Wow. Let me tell you, I definitely hope this trip, well, not even hope, I know this trip for business, and also the relationship is going to even go flourish and go better and better. Charles, what's the thing you love about Ricky?
The best thing I love about Ricky is I knew I was in love with Ricky. Our first year together, we went on a vacation, and he let his hair down, and he wore slippers the whole weekend on a cruise. So I love that he doesn't put up a facade. He's himself around me, and I think only me. So, and I mean, I love it.
Ricky, what's the best thing about Charles?
The ambition is stifling.
That's not a good thing.
That's a very good thing. I'm a hesitant, resistant person. And I can honestly say Charles is my counterpart in that aspect. If it wasn't for Charles, I would not aspire to do many of the things that have been done.
Really?
He's my lifeline. Yeah, he's my lifeline. I was very stagnant when I got together with Charles. He pulled me out of my rut, and he guided me.
I had to upgrade him.
Yeah, he had to upgrade me a little.
I love that.
It was amazing. From getting the home, which was his idea, to starting the business, which was his idea. He's been that guiding force, and I've been following, and I can honestly say I love where it has taken us.
Oh.
And yeah, that's what I love most about him.
So it basically took you out of your comfort zone beyond the trees.
I wouldn't even consider it a comfort zone. I would consider it a lazy zone.
Oh, wow. I love this honesty. Yeah. I love your honesty.
Yeah, I'm very complacent. I'm fine with things just being the way they are, but you need that person to push you. And vice versa, you also need that person to be the rational thought. I'm his rational thought. If it wasn't for me, Charles would float away. I'm holding on to the balloon string.
Sometimes I also think of myself as a couple. Somebody is bound to overstep their bounds a little bit, but you know what? I do see how you guys still make it work. I can see how you guys still understand. If anything, I'm pretty sure it's kind of teaching you better tips along the way within your own relationship.
It does. It really does. It really does. Like, I have to. He says I'm mean, so it's like I'm working. 2018 is for me to work on not being mean to him.
You know what? It's okay to have a little meanness, a little bit. It helps you when it comes to negotiations, don't it?
With negotiating, I'm not mean. I'm stern.
Chris, he's a Southern boy, and that's fine. But we're in New York, so sometimes I got to get him to adjust to his surroundings.
Okay.
I'm from Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
I still consider it the South. So.
Listen, most of my family comes from Georgia. I may have been raised down in South Florida, but I had that Southern upbringing pretty much, with mom and daddy speaking, just allow them to speak, and so I can relate.
Exactly.
I can relate,
Yeah.
So.
So it's so funny because it was definitely a culture shock when I moved to New York. So I really enjoyed the balance.
Gotcha. Are you guys staying up in New York?
We would like to possibly end up in like a D.C., Maryland area.
Oh.
So it's kind of halfway between his family and halfway between my family. And, have some land and a white picket fence and have some kids.
I get it. To get some, I got to be honest with you, my father, and he was born in Georgia. He, till this day, says the exact same thing. He just wants land.
Yeah.
And he don't want to be looking at his next door neighbor through his window.
It's the truth. Yeah, it's the truth. It's like New York is. I don't care what block it is. You're going to hear the fire department come down it. So it's kind of like, okay, I've done that for the past 10 years. It's kind of, I don't want to hear anything. That's where we are right now. And he's never left New York, so he seems like he's pretty excited about doing it within the next few years.
Oh wow, Ricky. So were you actually born and raised in New York?
Born and raised. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The furthest I've gone has been New Jersey. But you can still consider that New York, I guess.
Pretty much. Man, I'll be honest with you. I was so happy you guys came on the show, and I want to make sure people got that promo code. What's that promo code again?
Lambda Vodka.
It gets you 10% off.
So what you can go to our website at www.lambdavodka.com. All the stores and restaurants are on our website. We even have a link where you could purchase a bottle. If you're in the New York Harlem area, they will ship it or deliver it to you. But all the locations are listed on our website.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Ricky. You made this a nice little heartwarming little interview for me. Hopefully I'm going to find that person one day. I'm going to find them. Anyway.
They're coming. Keep on.
I'm going to find that guy one day, and I'm pretty sure everybody else will find their love of their life too and go into a business with. So, listen, I thank you so much for coming on the show. You have made this really fun for me. And again, I want to make sure everybody goes to Colorbloc to make sure you go down to see them again. I might even purchase my tickets too, but make sure you go to lambdavodka.com first. Thank you again, guys. And you guys, this is Chris signing off from Brothaspeak Podcast. You guys have a wonderful day.
Have a good night, Chris.